Chapter 6, Summary. Number 1, omitted variable bias occurs when an omitted variable, there's A and B. A is correlated with an included regressor, and B is a determinant of Y, of big Y. Number 2, the multiple regression model is a linear regression model that includes multiple regressors, big X sub 1, big X sub 2 through big X sub k. Associated with each regressor is a regression coefficient, beta sub 1, beta sub 2 through beta sub k. The coefficient beta sub 1 is the expected difference in big Y associated with a 1 unit difference in big X sub 1, holding the other regressors constant. The other regression coefficients have an analogous interpretation. Number 3, the coefficients in multiple regression can be estimated by ordinary least squares. When the 4 least squares assumptions in key concept 6.4 are satisfied, the ordinary least squares estimators of the causal effect are unbiased, consistent, and normally distributed in large samples. Number 4, the role of control variables is to hold constant omitted factors so that the variable of interest is no longer correlated with the error term. Properly chosen control variables can eliminate omitted variable bias in the ordinary least squares estimate of the causal effect of interest. Number 5, perfect multicollinearity, which occurs when one regressor is an exact linear function of the other regressors, usually arises from a mistake in choosing which regressors to include in a multiple regression. Solving perfect multicollinearity requires changing the set of regressors. Number 6, the standard error of the regression, the big R squared and the big R squared bar, are measures of fit for the multiple regression model. Key terms: omitted variable bias, multiple regression model, population regression line, population regression function, intercept, slope coefficient of x subscript 1i, coefficient on big X subscript 1i. On the previous one, on slope coefficient of big X sub 1i is the proper. I just want to make sure it's capital X. Subscript 1 I. Then slope coefficient of big X subscript 2i. Then coefficient on big X subscript 2i, holding big X sub 2 constant, controlling for big X sub 2, partial effect, population, multiple regression model, constant regressor, constant term, homoscedastic, heteroscedastic, ordinary least squares, estimators of beta sub 0, beta sub 1 through beta sub k, ordinary least squares regression line, predicted value, ordinary least squares residual, big R squared, adjusted big R squared, open big R squared bar, close,